Reva, you have an autistic child. How do we interpret this? Help me understand this.
I think what we're seeing is the worst of the system. We're seeing a system that failed this young man from start to finish. And putting this young man in a psychiatric facility is the worst thing that could ever be done.
Okay,
to him.
I'm totally.
This man doesn't have mental health issues.
I'm
he
confused.
has autism. That's a neurological condition.
Yeah, but we treat neurological conditions in the psychiatric hospitals all the time that have psychiatric symptoms like impulse control problems, aggression. Stacey, I mean, we deal with this all the time, yeah?
All the time. But here's what I would say. I wouldn't put him in a psychiatric hospital, and I wouldn't put him in a jail. He needs to be put in a place that can handle his developmental needs and work with him, because he clearly has some emotional issues and some anger.
But the fact that he's so aggressive, and let's say there was more to have been done before and they missed the opportunity, what do we do with him now? How do we understand this?
This is every parent of an autistic child's nightmare. And unfortunately, some kids who have autism do have, and some young adults, they have aggressive behaviors. But they're not aggressive behaviors that are caused by malice or intent.
Oh,
when you think of a criminal that forms the intent to do someone harm. This young man needs intensive intervention, behavior therapies. That's why his mother is saying, let him come home. He's not getting the help that he needs in jail. You're not helping the situation. She's not afraid of her son. They had a very traumatic experience, but she wants her son home with her so that he can get the kind of intervention and help that will allow him to live an independent life. I think this is horrible. I think every parent out there that has a child on the spectrum cringes when we see these stories, because that could be my son, that could be any parent's son, and jail is not the place for an individual with autism that had an experience like this young man.
I'm sorry, and if this sounds insensitive, I don't mean it to, but if I'm the neighbor, I can't have this guy come home. I'm not going to feel safe with my kids in the neighborhood with him here. I have friends that have autistic children. Our friend Holly Robinson Pete and I advocate for autism, and I'm with everyone here on the panel that it would be better if the system did more for kids on the spectrum. But the simple matter is, he stabbed his mother, and in whatever state he was, the knife broke and he went to go back. I don't know why he did it, but if I have a kid, I cannot feel safe as a neighbor, and for me, the safety of my kid will come first.
And I think you speak on behalf of people listening and watching. So let's bring Mom in to see if there's more to this story so we can really get our head around it. Joanne Holmes is on the phone. She is Zachary's mother. Joanne, I don't know if you've heard this conversation, but I wonder, help us understand how he can be safe at home and why you want him at home. Well, we kind of understand why not in jail. We all believe he doesn't belong there, but help us understand how to keep him safe in the home.
Well, I think, too, like you said, you know, jail is definitely not for him. But I think what you need to understand with Zachary is this was an isolated situation. Zachary has never had any behavior issues in his entire life. This was an isolated situation, and it was not as dramatic as it's being found to be. Did something happen in my home? Yes, it did. Should it have been handled as a family? It should have. I never pressed charges against Zachary. I never got a restraining order out against Zachary, and things are not always as they appear to be. And because we are in the legal, case, I can't really give the details, but it did not happen exactly how they're saying it to be. Is my son a danger to anybody else? No. If you ask anybody in our community, they all want him to come home. The lawyer said he has never had anybody with more community support than Zachary. But the main thing is he does not belong in jail. He is getting no services at all. He has been in jail since November 9th. No therapy, nothing.